Good morning. It is Wednesday, November the 23rd. I'm first warning meteorologist Eric Burris. This is Coffee Talk. We get together 7 days a week, and yes, we will be together tomorrow morning for Thanksgiving. I'm excited to share the forecast and the holiday with you. But today, it's the day before Thanksgiving, and oh my goodness, I'm looking outside my window right now, and I just have to laugh. It's as if Mother Nature was like, let's give you a preview of what New York is dealing with this time of year, right? It is gray. It is cloudy. Thank goodness it's not cold. Top two things we're watching. Yeah, here we go. We're entering into that Christmas season. Whoa, I hit the space bar twice. All right, can I try that again? Here we go. We're entering into the Christmas season. We are looking like the holidays. We're going to discuss the forecast, not just for today, but looking ahead to Thanksgiving Day, to Black Friday, all of that fun stuff. Plus, we've got more recipes today. I'm excited to share them with you, including my grandmother's chicken soup recipe. Yeah. All right. Now, you saw this for a second, but here's a look at the Tower Cam Network. I might as well just turn the camera and point it like my wall, right? That, believe it or not, that is a camera. That's downtown Orlando. That's Lake Eola, okay? So we've got ourselves a little bit of fog we're dealing with this morning. Here's the visibility map around Central Florida. Orlando down to near nothing. Sanford a half mile. Anything less than 10 miles denotes a little bit of cloudiness, a little bit of haze, that sort of thing. But it's really and truly when you get below a mile that things really impact you. So Orlando, Sanford, like the Metro Corridor, even northern Brevard County dealing with that. And it's partially because we don't have a ton of wind. We've got a light breeze, but we don't have a ton of wind. Temperature-wise, you can see the readings on the bottom of the screen, but here's a live look. 64 degrees in Orlando, 63 in the Villages, 62 degrees in Ocala. Our first warning, live Doppler radar has been tracking some showers. Let's take you into the metro, and you can see it's light shower activity. Just had some at my house a bit ago. A little bit of rain down around Disney, a little bit of rain working in around Kissimmee, more showers coming in over I-75 in from Tampa. So a little bit of rain, and as you would imagine, this will continue through the day today. This morning, though, by far and away has the highest coverage of rain. It's overcast, it's wet, 50% coverage of showers. We'll taper that down, 30% coverage of rain by 11 o'clock. 20% by 1. So we're drying out through the day today, getting little breaks of sunshine through the day today, and then, of course, temperatures will react to that. 74, 1 o'clock, 76 degrees, our 3 o'clock temperature. So not too bad out there. Frankie, good morning to you. Drive safe, bud. Love you. Bruce, good morning to you. How are you? Annie, good morning, good morning. How are you? Paul, Pat, good morning. Robin, don't forget to turn your bathroom scales back 15 pounds. That's hilarious. I love that. Yeah. So we've got a nice moist air mass over top of us. Let's take a look at where we are overall. You can see all the clouds, all the moisture. There's a little piece of energy developing and moving away from us. I do want to point out on the flight delay map, okay, while Miami is reading none, or at least no issues, they are currently under a ground stop, so flights heading that direction are being held at their departure airports. So just keep that in mind. I will tell you that for today, right now, the big board over at Orlando International Airport registering 1 flight cancellation, 15 delayed flights, okay? So all in all, not too bad, but we take a look at the travel picture today, and you'll notice things are really quiet except out west. There's some snow showers working over to Denver, so may have an issue, maybe. United has a hub over in Denver, so may have a slight issue. It's not a big deal, but there's at least something there to watch. So for travel plans today, we'll certainly be keeping tabs on everything. But again, for right now, we are looking okay. What about if you're hanging out at the theme parks today, right? Let's head over to the Magic Kingdom. Looks good. Just starting with clouds and showers, and then we're getting more and more sun shining as the day progresses. So I think it's going to be good. Foggy here in Sanford, Becca says, good morning to you. Casey, good morning to you. Ann says, more recipes. Yay. Oh, yeah, we're not messing around. So speaking of recipes, before we get to them, let's just take a look at our Thanksgiving forecast. So for today, more sunshine as the day progresses, but we're going to keep plenty of clouds. And frankly, I think we're going to do that again for tomorrow. We'll start with a gray sky, and then we'll get more and more sunshine through the day. 79 for your midday table setting, and then 82 for that early dinner. It's going to be nice. It's not going to be this kind of soggy mess that we've had here these last couple of days. We're getting better. May not be quickly, but we're getting better little by little by little. I love it. Nathaniel, good morning to you. How are you, Pat? Good morning. Good morning. Anne Marsh says, I'm going to eat Thanksgiving dinner at the new Fish Barn Grill. Oh, that's fun. We heard a lot of news coverage about like ordering from restaurants and how it would be cost effective. So I'm on board with that. I'm on board with that. Diane, good morning. Beautiful day in Kentucky. Indeed, I bet it is. Buenos dias. Good morning to you, Beverly. I hope you're having a great start to the day. Charles says, good morning, all. If anyone has a breakfast casserole to recommend, I'm all ears, looking for one to prepare tomorrow. You're such a stud, Charles. Such a good guy. I could tell you, I don't think I had any breakfast recipes. Yeah. I didn't have any breakfast recipes come in. I will also add, oh no, wait a minute. Taylor Walters posted a great apple pie cinnamon rolls. I'll tell you real fast. I didn't make a graphic for it, but since we're talking about it, Charles, you ready? Mark the time. This is what? This is 6 minutes, 53 seconds in, okay? Yeah, Taylor, I submitted an apple pie cinnamon roll. So the computer did not randomly grab it, but Charles, I'm going to read it to you real fast, okay? Taylor submitted it. All right, apple pie cinnamon rolls, 2 cans of cinnamon rolls, 1 can apple pie filling, powdered sugar, quarter cinnamon rolls, mix in apple pie filling, bake in a greased baking dish at 375 for 25 to 30 minutes. Add extra powdered sugar, vanilla, and a little milk to the icing provided with the rolls. Pour over top to coat. Oh my God, that's Taylor, you naughty thing. That sounds awesome. All right, so there you go. I just read that. I just read that off the system. I didn't make a graphic for it. I apologize. The computer picked a couple of recipes, okay? My apologies. All right, when do we think that the clouds and fog will burn off? So it's going to be gray the first part of the day today, but through the afternoon, things will look better and better and better and better. Gabby, AccuWeather shows 88% rain for Friday, but your app shows 14%. Why the huge difference? Well, Gabby, all I could say is that, I don't know what AccuWeather does because I don't work there, but I could tell you that here in Central Florida, I live here. I'm not forecasting for the planet. I'm forecasting for Central Florida. So I'd say a stray shower. Gabby, all they're doing is gridding model data. All we're doing is forecasting. So, yeah. But I don't work there. Yeah. Ooh, Mary Lee, French toast casserole. That sounds so good. Good gravy. Good gravy. Oh, and then Jeannie posts biscuits and gravy breakfast. Biscuits and gravy breakfast casserole? Why do you do this to my brain and my heart? I am a sucker for biscuits and gravy. Is it? That totally took my attention away from the Black Friday forecast, which just includes a stray shower or so, we think. Gabby says, definitely trust you more. Was just curious. Yeah, the models are not going great. They're not agreeing well with this. And I can show you for Black Friday. Let's do this. Stand by. We'll do that. We'll do that. Give me a minute. All right, Florida. All right, so this is quote unquote just like a radar. And let me go through to Friday, and I'll show you. This is the GFS. Actually, I don't know if I can do both at the same time on here with you. I think I can. Hold on. All right. So this is what I'm going to try and do. Let me try and make this fit. So this is what we use off the air, okay? This is a utility that lets us compare models. It's not. Of course not. Let me see if I can. Hold on. I'm trying. Let me try. Yeah, I don't know that it's going to let me, but I can try. All right. So this is not the best, but at least it shows that's Wednesday, Thursday. It's so small I can barely see it, but because I don't have this like dialed up. All right. So there's this. And then let me switch this to the euro. Okay. So just looking at the two models, all right, we're just going to look at them together. You've got the European, which wants to be a little wetter across Central Florida, whereas the GFS does not. So that's kind of where we're at in terms of, you know, the Euro is airing wetter, the GFS is not. And I think that the GFS is probably going to end up being correct in this. The Euro has been a lot wetter these last couple of days, and that has not played out. So that's where that came from, essentially. All right? Charles says, that looks yummy, but lots of sugar. That's true. That's true. Kids bouncing off the walls. Brent says, our Illinois forecasters make fun of the national models. Stay local. Oh, I agree. Especially if you're forecasting for the nation. It's just you're not... Exactly, Chris. You're not... you're just not focused on the local stuff. So that's why I like staying local. You know what I mean? Oh, well. Just a normal week here. Wife works all night tonight and tomorrow night. So big meal for Saturday for us. Ed, nothing wrong with that. I love it. All right. Shall we chat about some recipes with Thanksgiving? First off, Thanksgiving looks great. Obviously there. Black Friday looks great. Let's just take a look at the 7-day forecast. And then we can get into some recipes. All right. So today... mostly cloudy skies. Through the afternoon, we taper off the rain chances. Thanksgiving looks great. Black Friday looks great. We're not exactly talking about cooler temperatures. That front does look to be washing out Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So let's do this. Here is the Mediagram. This is just raw GFS. Give me a minute and I'll resize it. I just wanted to show you the raw GFS, which is not going optimistic on any kind of cool temperatures anytime soon. I mean, you can see. Like that 79, 71, that's like December 6th / December 7th. So that's the GFS basically. You'd be like, don't hold your breath, you know? Don't hold your breath. All right? All right, let's chat about some recipes. There's some good ones. There's some really good ones. So let's start with, if you recall on Coffee Talk. Oh, Justine, yes. Let's before we do the recipes. How could I forget? My God, I almost forgot to mention the UCF forecast. I almost forgot. I cannot do that. It is the war on I-4. The last time for it. UCF heading over to USF. Friends. UCF is also Tampa's hometown team. Okay, let's talk about that forecast. 7 p.m., 74. It is a gorgeous forecast. A gorgeous forecast for it. I cannot wait. I cannot wait for this football game. And as long as UCF wins, conference championship time. Okay, all right, recipes. So on Sunday, I put out the call to action, and Bob, who works with me, put out his recipe. So this is Skipper Bob's green bean casserole. And I put it in just as he wrote. So we'll have to decipher a little bit of this. So he wrote 2 cans of French-style green beans. Use fresh if you want to be fancy, right? 2 cans of cream of mushroom soup. Half a package of fried onions. Now, I think that you just start with the half package and then add the rest after. chopped cooked bacon, which sounds great, and splashes of soy sauce. I love that. So bake for 25 to 30 at 350. Take it out, top with the remaining fried onion, mix again, and serve. That sounds so fun. First off, Bob's great. Second off, when I asked him what makes this recipe special, he said years of fine tuning. And he adds, when I asked him any tips or tricks, he said, have your kids help you make it. It's super easy and yummy. So I love that idea. Bob's favorite part about the holiday, the food. Love it. And it's an easy one. So take a screen grab if you want. 2 cans of French-style cut green beans. Or if you want to be fancy, you could use fresh. Love that. Okay. All right. Next recipe. This one looks so delicious. Pat's sausage stuffing. All right. Looks good. It's Pat's mother's recipe, by the way. All right, so on the left side, 1 large loaf of white bread. Oh, we're fancy if we're making it from scratch. I like that. 1 tube of frozen breakfast sausage. You've got my attention. 2 large eggs. 1.5 to 2 cups of chicken broth to moisten. 1 medium onion chopped. Doesn't specify if it should be yellow or what have you, but we'll just go with a medium onion. I probably would think yellow. 1.5 stalks of celery diced. 1 teaspoon of black pepper. 1 to 2 tablespoons of poultry seasoning, always fun. Parsley to taste. This is where it gets fun. 2 large apples diced and 1 cup of applesauce optional. Oh, gravy, that sounds good. And then 1 stick of softened butter muffin tin or 9 by 12 cake pan. All right, so we're browning the meat, adding the onion and celery until it's partially softened. Then we're draining the drippings. This is already a party. In a large mixing bowl, break up the bread, add the poultry seasoning, chicken broth, eggs, parsley, black pepper, and cooled sausage, celery, and onion. Mix it all together. If it's too moist, add some breadcrumbs. If it's too dry, add more broth. Butter muffin tin or cake pan with softened butter. Add mixture to tin pan and put a little butter on top. Bake in the oven 350 until golden brown. Let me tell you something, okay? I've always been intimidated by making stuffing from scratch. This sounds so good. I have always been a fan of sausage stuffing with a little bit of fruit, and I feel like this hits the notes, right? Like the apples, and then even the apple sauce sounds like it just adds so wonderfully, right? Man, Frank says, love this. Still thinking about the biscuits. Annie says, I know, right? Taylor says, my recipe is similar. Okay, so this is a good one then. I love that. I love that. I love that. This is one of those things, I feel like I could do this, right? Anne Marie says, very similar to my turkey stuffing. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I could pull this off. To me, sausage and fruit in a stuffing takes it next level. Jenny says, and now I'm starving. I know, right? Bruce says this sounds amazing. Now, you can't have any holiday without some mac and cheese. Oh, we'll come back to Beth's in a minute. I forgot to mention, while we're talking about Pat's, when I asked Pat about tips or tricks, I like making stuffing muffins, which I love. My guests have individual servings, and they enjoy them too. So that's kind of a fun little element of that, Pat. Thank you very much. Okay, macaroni and cheese. What? This sounds amazing. Beth's smoky mac and cheese. Now, Beth says it's a tweak on a Betty Crocker recipe, which I think that when you tweak stuff, that's where the magic comes from. Okay? This is an easy, family-friendly comfort food. All right? I love that. By the way, Beth's favorite thing about the holiday, gathering with family. Okay? All right, so let's read this together. 16 ounces of uncooked elbow macaroni. So we're throwing in a pound mac. I love it. I'm in. You have my attention. You have my attention. Okay? 1.5 cups of heavy whipping cream, no substitute. As a matter of fact, Beth goes on to say, you must use heavy whipping cream or the tomatoes will curdle the milk. Any substitutions are fine other than that. Okay? No substitution. Heavy whipping cream, people. Okay. Okay. Great. 1 teaspoon of Dijon mustard and a pinch of salt. Boy, that's a little feisty sidebar there. I like that. 8 ounces of smoked cheddar cheese, shredded. I'm in. 2 cans of fire-roasted diced tomatoes, well-drained. Holy cannoli, we're throwing in some... First off, can I just add, Beth, the 2 cans of fire-roasted diced tomatoes, that's part of my chili that I make. When I make chili, I use the fire-roasted diced tomatoes. That adds a whole other layer of excitement. So I love that I'm not the only one that does that to just... This sounds like a feisty recipe. Yeah, it does. All right. 1/4 cup diced green onions. Ooh, fun. 1/3 cup grated parm. Love that. 1/3 cup plain breadcrumbs. And 2 teaspoons of olive oil. All right, so we're cooking and draining the macaroni. Putting it aside. Pop that oven up to 375. Spray a 9x13 baking dish with cooking spray. In a 2-quart saucepan, heat the whipping cream. Interesting, okay. Heat the whipping cream, mustard, and salt to just boiling. Reduce heat. Stir in the cheddar cheese. And with wire whisk until smooth. Sounds good to me. Pour sauce over macaroni. Stir and drain tomatoes and chopped onions. God, that sounds so fun. Pour into baking dish in a small bowl. Mix Parmesan cheese and breadcrumbs. Stir in oil. Sprinkle over top of the macaroni mixture. Bake uncovered 15 to 20 until the edges are bubbly. My gosh. Beth, this sounds like a fun recipe because it's not your normal one. I love that. That's so fun. That sounds like a party in a pan. You know? Debbie says, I love this mac and cheese recipe. It's fun, isn't it? Man, I love that. What is a good economical white wine for tomorrow? It's the cheapest one you could find, Janice. Why not? Emmy says, not a fan of mac and cheese, but this amps it up, so I'm going to try this one. Yeah, right? Like, this is one that can get out of control real quick, and that's my favorite way to cook. Let's do things that get out of control. You know what I'm saying? Bruce says, you don't pre-cook the elbows? Apparently, Bruce wasn't paying attention to number 1. Cook and drain macaroni. Come on, Bruce. All right, the last dress, I saved mine for last, even though it probably would go first in a meal. So every single meal that we did as a family, it didn't matter if it was the pits of winter, like we're in right now, I mean, at least when I look out the window, or the blistering part of summer. The family dinner started with my grandmother's matzo ball soup. Now, I'm going to read it to you. I will add that the matzo balls are just Straits matzo balls. You can go to Publix or what have you and buy the Straits matzo ball. It's in a box. Okay? I don't know that she used to do it more manually. Maybe she did. But the Straits, they've got 2 boxes. Okay? They've got matzo balls with soup. Don't do that. You want the matzo balls box. And it says that it's got 2 servings. I would say use both. You want to do the full box. So 2 packets of matzo meal with the eggs, with the vegetable oil and all that. Okay? So that's that. The matzo balls are Straits. I will tell you, maybe she used to do them homemade, but listen, the woman was making this soup until she was 92, until she passed away. So at any rate, I'm thrilled to share this with you. It's simple. It warms my soul, okay? Both when I eat it and now. This is the first time I've ever shared this, okay? Really, really, really special. Take a large pot. I use the biggest pot I've got. All right? And what you do, all right, the ingredients are on the left. So large pot with about a little more than half of it filled with water. All right, you're going to need a chicken. You're going to need a large onion. I always use yellow onion. A bag of parsnip. A bag of carrots. 4 celery stalks. She likes to leave the leaves on it. Okay, whatever you want. 1 package of dill and salt to taste. Now, I would also add to the ingredients. She said at the very and what I did is this is it typed out just as she was telling it to me. Okay. Some people use bouillon. I will tell you, use bouillon. It just adds to it. And you add the bouillon to whatever level you want. That, to me, that's kind of like the fine tuning of it, okay? All right, so you fill the pot a little more than halfway with water and you boil it. Cut up your onion. I chop it up nice and small and let the onion simmer for about 10 minutes. So the water's boiling, the soup, the water is all boiling. All right, then you add your chicken and boil it for 40 minutes. Now, according to my grandmother, let me read it to you because I didn't have, I found that the weather computer system that I use can only handle so many letters on a screen. I guess it's because this is a weather system and they never thought about me using it for recipes. Okay. When we're talking about the chicken, she adds, I'm going to quote her here. Be sure to clean up the chicken perfectly. Cut it up. Add to the boiling water. And the chicken needs to be clean, clean, clean because I don't like any leftovers in the chicken. It could be veiny. Pull all that crap off. Clean off the pieces of fat and things, but leave the skin on, okay? That is from her mouth. She's standing there in the kitchen telling this to me. Okay? 40 minutes boiling with the chicken. Then, while that 40 minutes is going, you're cutting up all the vegetables to whatever size you want. I cut it up nice and small. I think I leave the carrots. I think I just do baby carrots. That way it's simpler. Cut up all the vegetables. And then after 40 minutes of the chicken boiling, you throw all the vegetables except the dill in. And you cook for another 30 minutes half covered. About 10 minutes before the half hour, you put in the dill. Now, basically what I do is as soon as I add all the vegetables, I start working on the matzo balls, okay, the straights, okay. I will tell you when I put in the vegetables, I also start throwing in the bouillon. And I will say it's important, you know, to me, I don't make it without the bouillon. It adds a little bit more body to it. And for you, you know, play around with it. Know that I put in a pretty good amount of bouillon, and she used to put in a pretty good amount of bouillon too. So it just adds a little bit. Pam says the skin makes the taste. It's true. It's true. So you put all of this together, and then, like I said, she very well may have used to make the matzo balls with just raw matzo meal, but I just use the straights. Listen, all the straights is portioned is all it is, but it's just matzo ball. The boxes, that's at least an easier element. Jeannie, what's her secret ingredient? It's a pretty standard. There's nothing fancy about it. Matzo ball soup recipe. I will tell you, this is one of those things that when I make this, I am so overjoyed. It brings me such a smile. Anytime I have like a sick neighbor, I look for ways to cook this. I really do. It is my favorite thing in the world. So thank you. Thank you for listening to that recipe. I will tell you, it's nothing fancy, but it hits. It hits all the notes. So let's go through them again. If you didn't get it, and again, just like yesterday, I will go through and I will screen grab all of them and post them. But if you want to screen grab them this second, just like that, Julie, that's exactly how it's spelled. So if you want to take the screen grabs, here you go. Skipper Bob. Thanks, buddy. Green bean casserole. Take your screen grabs now. That is fantastic. How many matzo balls do you get from the box? I would say I usually make the whole box, and I get a bunch. I get a bunch of matzo balls. I don't know, 10, 20, something in that realm. Just depends how big you make them, Kristen says, I think I may have to make your grandma's soup with my grandma's latkes. Ooh, and brisket for Hanukkah. I would be honored if you did that, Christine. Thank you. Thank you. Bruce, it's so good. Straight Streits, I believe. It's in the ethnic section at Publix. Yeah. All right. Pat's sausage stuffing. If you want to take a screen grab, I will post it after, but if you want to take a screen grab, go ahead and do it now. Anne Marie says, similar to my chicken soup recipe, minus the matzo balls. Can't wait to make it. Oh, it's so fun. I love it. Thank you all for listening. You know, I just feel like food is one of those things that is so special to us. Here's Beth's. God, this looks so good. Smoky mac and cheese. That looks so good. Pam says, I've never heard of putting dill in my grandmother's soup. I'll tell you, the dill, there's times where I sat down eating the soup and I was like, there's something missing. And I'm like, crud, I forgot the dill. And I literally would throw the dill in and have to reserve myself because the dill to me is the key. And then last but not least, grandma's matzo ball soup. There you go. Take your screen grabs. The dill adds a body to it. I know. And by the way, the parsnip adds a body. I chop the parsnip up small and it almost becomes like potatoes, fragrant potatoes in the soup. It's so good. Patrick says that mac and cheese looks fire. Oh God, yeah. It looks so good, right? Yeah. So that's where we're at, friends. There's some real wonderful recipes. My grandmother's soup is not it doesn't have any, it doesn't have any secret ingredients, but I'll tell you what, it hits it on all the notes. Jeannie's asking, what is grandma's name? Annette Brenner. Her name was Annette Brenner. And that soup recipe is what put together family for a long time. Cheryl says, I love parsnips. I've only ever used it in this recipe, but it adds, there's just something to that parsnip. I made it for some neighbors, and he's from the UK, and he's like, I love parsnip. We use it all the time. I guess parsnip would be the secret ingredient if I were to think. I don't know. Can't do dill. I had a bad experience once many years ago, and can never have it again. It may involve drinking. But you're blaming the dill, Jan? You're blaming the dill for your drinking? What? Chris says, thank you for killing my diet. Listen, that soup isn't bad. That soup isn't too bad. Don says, love this sharing recipes. Great idea. Thank you. I can't take credit for it, Don. It's this little community we have. Everybody else suggested it. I'm like, yeah, I guess we can do it. Why not? Let's do it. So that's where we're at. Today, clearing little by little by little into the afternoon. Little by little by little into the afternoon. Let's just look outside at that tower cam once more. Yeah. Pretty much the same. All right? All right, listen. That's all we've got for today. Any questions, comments, concerns? No? Okay. Be the sunshine in someone else's day, would ya? Esther says, love our grandmas. You know, my grandmother, Annette, her mother's name was Esther. Fun how that works. Debbie says, starting Friday, start pulling up your favorite cookies and dessert recipes. All right, well, if we're doing that, let's just keep the ball rolling here, right? If you want to share any cookie or dessert recipes, wesh.com/coffee talk. Sound good? Sound good. Love it. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Be the sunshine in someone else's holiday. I'll see you guys, if I can, later this afternoon. If not, Coffee Talk continues tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. Bye, guys.